Namaskar and welcome to the training session on the online admissions shortlisting through the Shala Darpan portal. In this session, we will first see certain requirements of data updation that are to be done in some screens for successful shortlisting. Then we will go on and see the steps to shortlist the candidates, and then we will see the reports of the shortlisted candidate. At the end, we will also see how to admit or reject the candidates who are shortlisted based on our manual verification of documents at the school. So let us start our session. As we all can see, we have the Shala Darpan portal open in front of us, which is darpan.kvs.gov.in. When we enter this URL in any browser, the Shala Darpan portal homepage opens in front of us. All the solutions of the Shala Darpan are displayed in this particular portal. So let us click on online admissions. As we click on the online admissions, we land on the online admissions homepage of the Shala Darpan. Here we have certain links like search, Vidyalaya list, application status, or to open the form we have a button to apply online. Now to shortlist, we first need to log in using a school's login. Now an important point is that shortlisting is to be done by the school using the school's login. The Sangathan or regional office login does not have this facility. So first let us log in, and the login link, as we know, is available on top hand right hand side of the Shala Darpan online admissions portal. So let's click on the login button. So I'm logging in using a school's login ID for our training session. We enter the password and we click on sign in button. So now we have landed on a school's dashboard or the home page, and we can see the name of the school on top. Now this is the link on the home page which brings us back school's dashboard. Now first, let us see certain prerequisite information or details that needs to be ensured by all the schools before we can proceed with shortlisting. And it starts with the Vidyalaya Master. So we click on Vidyalaya Master link, which is available in the information section on the home page. As we click on the Vidyalaya Master screen, the screen opens in front of us and it gives us the details of the schools as entered. So the name of the school, which appears automatically, the Vidyalaya category, region name, education level, and all the relevant fields. We also have the information for the principal, which can be updated as required. And in the address section, we have to enter the address details of the Vidyalaya. At time of registration, we had already updated these fields as required, but now let us review these fields in terms of shortlisting. So for shortlisting, we again have to ensure that our Vidyalaya category is correctly displayed. Our region name is correctly entered. These two fields we have already ensured before registration also. Then in the address section, we have to ensure that the address category is selected as required for the school. If the school is located in the metro or urban area, then metro/urban option has to be selected. If the school is in a non-metro location or a rural location, then non-metro/rural option has to be selected in the address category field. After we select these fields, we have to click on button save, and the data saving or data modification message appears. That means our data has been saved. We have to make sure that the address category is correct because this has a direct impact on shortlisting. We all know that for RTE shortlisting, there is a neighborhood criteria which needs to be met. That is, a parent, if he is applying for a school which is in the metro or urban location, then to qualify for RTE, his distance from the school has to be either 5 kilometers or less than 5 kilometers. And if he is applying for a school which is in the non-metro or rural area, then The prerequisite for RTE qualification in terms of neighborhood will be up to 8 kilometers. So it is based on this particular field that a school has selected and saved in this Vidyalaya Master that will determine whether a parent will get shortlisted in the RTE category or not. Therefore, it is an important field for selection. Another important point about Vidyalaya Master is that this is a common screen for both the shifts of the school. That means both shift 1 and shift 2 will have the common Vidyalaya Master screen. So after saving and reviewing this screen, let us go to the next screen, which is also important for shortlisting. So on the left hand side in the information section, we have the screen named as classes. We click on classes and the screen opens in front of us. Now let us see the other screens which are required for shortlisting. So on the left hand side in the information section, we see a screen classes, and let us click on the screen classes. Again, at the time of registration, updated in the screen the number of sections. We had made the admission open for all the required classes which are open for admission. Now, before shortlisting, we must ensure that this information is correct. To update or review any information in this screen, we must click on button view. As we click on button view, a small window opens in which we have to click on button go, and all the classes which are active for the particular school that we are looking will get listed in the screen. In this, we click on the first class, that is class 1, because we are currently understanding the shortlisting for class 1. And then the information regarding class 1 appears in the main screen. So this information which is showing to us is for shift 1, class 1, number of sections are 3, class strength is 120, which is 40 students per class section. Admission is open, that means that parents will be able to apply for registrations, and the status is active for this particular class. At the time of registration, this admission open yes was done so that the parents are able to apply online for this particular class and shift. For shortlisting, our main field which is required right now is number of sections. So we must ensure that for our school number of sections is updated correctly, because this will determine the actual class strength for which shortlisting will be done. So let us update and check number of class sections. So we are updating 3 into 4 and we click on button save. The data saving confirmation message appears, and let's go back, click on view, click on the go button, select the class, and the number of sections will get updated. We are noticing that the class strength is still showing as 120, whereas it should have got updated to 160. So this class strength will not get updated immediately after we change the number of sections. There is another step additionally which is required to be done, and then this class strength will get updated automatically. Let us go and see what that step is. So again, on the top right hand side, we need to go back to our home page of the school. So we are clicking on the name of the school on top, and we are back to the home page of the school. In this, on the right hand side in the transactions section, we have a screen called seats distribution. Let's click on seats distribution screen, and we get the seats distribution screen open in front of us. It displays the school name by default, and then we have to select the academic year, which is 2017 and 18 for now, and then we have to simply click on compute button. The purpose of this screen is to distribute the seats as per the number of sections that we have just updated across various categories. So as we have just clicked on compute, we can see that the seats against various categories are getting computed. Now as per the admission guidelines, let us see the seat allocation is correct or not. So I'm opening an Excel sheet and let us see the seat allocation. So as per our example, where the total seats were 160, because we entered 4 class sections for the class 1. So by that rule, 40 into 4, which makes it 160 as the class strength. Out of this, as per admission guidelines, SC is 15% reservation of 160, comes out to be 24. Out of this, 3% horizontal allocation is given to differently abled candidates, which makes it to be 3% of 24, and 1 seat, which leaves 1 seat for SCDA candidate. Then in ST, we have 7.5% of the total seats, which comes out to be 12, and the STDA is 3% of 12, which means 0 seat for STDA candidate. And total seats for ST will remain to be 12. Total SC seats will now become 23. And then for general candidate, again it is 77.5% of 160, that is the remaining seats after SC and ST seats. These are not the general candidates as per social class, but we are only talking about seat allocation for SC, ST and remaining candidates. So for general, we have again the remaining seats, which comes out to be 124, out of which 4 seats for general DA candidates, and actual general seats comes out to be 120. So now let us see whether the same is happening in our screen of seats distribution. So going back to the screen, and we will see that the same distribution is happening in our seats distribution screen, wherein for general differently abled no candidate we have total 120 seats. Then general differently abled yes candidate, 4 seats have been allocated. Similarly, for SC differently abled no, we have 23 seats, and for SC differently abled yes, we have 1 total seat allocated. And for ST, there will not be any seat allocated for DA candidate, whereas 12 seats have been allocated for a non-DA candidate. So this is the purpose of seats distribution, which allocates the seats to various categories based on the number of class sections that we have just entered. After this seats distribution step, if we go back in the classes screen, the class strength will get auto updated. So let us see that step as well. So we are going back to the classes screen. Click on view. Click on go button in the new window. Click on class 1, and now we will see that our class strength has been updated to 160. So let's move to further steps. So we have ensured Vidyalaya Master, we have ensured the number of class sections are updated in classes, and we have also seen how to do seats distribution. After this, we also have a screen called class vacancy. This step is either to be done by the school or by the Sangathan as decided. In this year, it has been decided that Sangathan will update the class vacancy of the schools. The purpose of this screen is it shows the vacancies or the current vacancies, or fills the current vacancies based on shortlisting. And in case any particular vacancy in any category needs to be reserved for a specific category, for example, project school. For example, in case of schools in Delhi where the land is given by DDA, then 5 seats per section are reserved for the employees of DDA authority. So in this case, the class vacancy screen needs to be updated, wherein we have to reduce the number of seats from the class strength of 40 per section. Let us see the steps to do this. So we are selecting the shift. Now in case the school is of 2 shifts, then all these steps needs to be done separately for shift 1 and shift 2. So let us select the class 1, and it displays the class strength, and it is also displaying the current vacancy. For schools like DDA schools, where some seats are reserved for DDA, then in the general category, that is general and differently abled no, the seats or the vacancies needs to be reduced as required. The current rule is that 5 seats per section are reserved for the DDA authority. So in this case, since it's a 4 section school, that means we will reduce 20 seats from the general DA no category. So we'll make it 100, and under column vacancy shortlisting also we will make it 100. That means the actual shortlisting from the application will be done after we have reduced these 5 seats. and this updation needs to be done in both the columns vacancy and vacancy shortlisting. As per decision taken this year, this step is being done by Sangathan. So the schools are not supposed to make any changes in the class vacancy. So after we have made these changes, click on button save and the details have been saved successfully and we get the message. So we click on OK on the message and we can again see the class vacancy by selecting respective fields. So now we see that our seats have been adjusted and we have updated the class vacancy. No other row needs to be updated in this particular vacancy screen, and the actual shortlisting will be done now out of these vacancies that we have entered. In this screen, after we have done the shortlisting, the column vacancy shortlisting will get updated and will start displaying the current vacancies which is left after shortlisting. So let us move to other steps. So we click back on the link of the school and we come back to our home page. Now we are ready for shortlisting. Please remember that after the seats distribution and class vacancy has been updated, no more changes needs to be done in either seats distribution or class vacancy. Another point is that the step of seats distribution comes before class vacancy. If after updating class vacancy, we again go back and do seats distribution, then the class vacancy screen will get refreshed. So whatever we just reduced, that is 20 seats that we just reduced in our example, will again start showing 120 if we again do seats distribution. Therefore, seats distribution activity has to be done before the updation of class vacancy. Now we are ready for our shortlisting. Let us see the steps for shortlisting, for which we have to click on the screen shortlisting, which is available in the section transaction. So clicking on shortlisting screen. So we are on the shortlisting page. The school name gets reflected automatically. Let us select the shift. If we have to do shortlisting for shift 1 or shift 2, we have to separately select them. That means shortlisting is done separately for shift 1 and shift 2. So we are selecting shift 1. Select the class name, class 1. Select academic year 2017-2018. Select admission round as 1. Since this is our first round of shortlisting, it will show us 1 date. This is shown as a default date, and if required, we can click on the calendar icon and change the date, though it does not have much impact on shortlisting. The shortlisting numbers, these are the number of attempts of shortlisting that we have done. If you're doing it for the first time, then the shortlisting number will start from 1. To shortlist, we have to click on button shortlist. To revert back shortlist, we have also a provision to revert and remove our shortlisting results. To lock the shortlist, we have to click on button lock, which locks our shortlisting results and no further shortlisting or updation in shortlisting can be done. Notification to applicants. This is the button that we can click after locking the shortlisting, wherein the email will be sent to the shortlisted candidates that they are shortlisted and they have to come for verification of documents at school. So let us first shortlist. Click on shortlist and it starts processing the information. All the admission guidelines of KVS have already been incorporated in the shortlisting process. So we receive the message that shortlisting is completed successfully and we click OK on the message. Now to see the shortlisted results, we have to go in the reports and see the shortlisted candidates reports and see the list of shortlisted candidates. Let us again click on the schools link, and on the right hand side in the section transformation, we get all the reports. In this, we have to click on shortlisted candidates reports, which will give us the list of shortlisted candidates. So this is our report of shortlisted candidates. We select various parameters in the report, select the regional office, select shortlist type. Now if we can see here, all the 4 categories of shortlist type appears. That means in single shortlisting, the RTE results, SC/ST results, general results and differently abled results of shortlisting gets generated. So there is no additional shortlisting which needs to be done for separate categories of shortlisting. So let us click on RTE and see the results. So we have selected the shortlist type as RTE, select Vidyalaya name, select academic year. Again we have to select the shift for which we have done the shortlisting. The shortlisting results will be generated separately for two shifts: applied class, admission round, and list type. List type means whether we want to see the shortlisted candidates or we want to generate the waitlist candidates list. So in the same shortlisting round, we can generate the shortlisted candidates report as well as the waitlisted candidates reports also get generated. So let us check shortlist candidates report. After selecting all these parameters, we click on button Go. We wait for few seconds till it generates the report and we get the report generated. So we have the report showing us the name of the institute, registration number, candidate details, the parent details, the parent service category which has been considered for admission, the type of seat, the number of transfers, the type of seat which has been allocated for this particular shortlisted candidate, and the distance from school as entered in the form. Let us select another shortlist type and generate the report. So let us see general candidates. So selecting the general as shortlist type and clicking on Go button. So now it has generated the general report, which means the report based on the admission categories and transfers. Now this report is the priority wise report which generates the shortlisted candidates based on their admission priorities and the transfers. So if we can see, all different social class candidates are getting generated based on their admission category priority. So since we have selected NTPC Badarpur, which is a project school, the first student which is being taken as priority is for the category 1, which is transferable, non-transferable employees of PSU or IHL sponsoring the school, and this will be further segregated based on the number of transfers. So the candidate of priority 1 with maximum number of transfers will be shortlisted first, followed by others. Now we can export these reports, as there is a button available at the end of the report, export to Excel and print. We can just click on this button, wait for few seconds, and it will download the report. So it is giving us a dialog box wherein we want to open or save the file. We are clicking on save file and click on OK. So the file is now saved in our computer. We can double click on the file. We click on yes on this message and the report is exported. We can now use this report or verify the results as required, and we can repeat these steps for other reports also. Now let us see the steps to lock the shortlisting. So we click on the school's name and we go back to the home page. On this, to lock the shortlist or to revert the shortlist, we again have to go back to the shortlisting screen. Now we again select the shift, class name, academic year, admission round. Now you will notice that since we have already done one round of shortlisting, it is showing us the second round if shortlisting needs to be done for second round. But shortlisting needs to be done for second round only if the number of registrations have not been received and we want to re-register the candidates. Whereas for shortlisting round 1, we can easily use the waitlisted candidates also for admission. So we click on shortlisting number 1. In case we want to revert, we simply click on revert back button and it reverts the shortlisting. So it processes and it will give us a message that shortlisting has been reverted. So we've got the message that successfully reverted shortlisted candidates. Now the shortlisting results are removed and we can do further shortlisting if required, and every time we shortlist, it will give us different results based on the number of registrations or forms we have received. That means if number of forms or registrations are very less than the number of seats, then the randomization of results will not be there. Whereas if the number of registrations have been received in abundant and we have limited number of seats, then the randomization will also work. So let us again shortlist and see the steps to lock the shortlist. So again it is showing us admission round 1 and the shortlisting number, that is number of attempts, have been added. So let us shortlist again, and now after this we will see how to lock the shortlisting. Shortlisting is done. Now let us lock this shortlisting. And we know after shortlisting we can go to the reports and we can generate the shortlisted candidates report to see the result. So we are now locking the shortlisting. To lock the shortlisting, we again select the details of last shortlisting done and we click on button lock. And now our shortlisting has been locked. After this, no more changes can be done in the shortlisting and the shortlisting round cannot be reverted back using the revert back button. And after we have done the locking, we can click on the button notification to applicants, and then the email will be sent to all those candidates who have been shortlisted. So as our shortlisting is locked and verified, we have to now call the parents for document verification. The document verification is done manually at the school, and during the verification, the applications of the candidates are either approved or rejected. This is done in the screen, admission status, and the steps for either rejecting or admitting a candidate is explained in our next video. So kindly refer to our other video for admission status. Thank you for watching this session.